Hi, I'm Randall Lucas, CEO of SimplyVerity, and I'm extremely excited to be here today because from this stage, we're launching our solution to a problem that hinders nearly $2 trillion in lending potential, and that is the lack of reliable, automated credit data on small businesses. Now, as a guy who likes to have a glass of fine whiskey now and then, let me explain this problem with a true-life example. Now, you may look at this search screen and say, what does a failed search have to do with fine whiskey? Well, you see, my friend, David the distiller, can't get a shipment of grains to his company because there's no file on his business at the credit bureau. That means he can't get the whiskey brewing and I don't get my glass of fine bourbon. Now, to be clear, David would love to have a credit report and he would be delighted to collaborate to put forth his best foot on his credit profile. But he can't do that with the offerings today. That's where we come in. So, we'll begin by pretending that my colleague Jeff Pecor is a lender looking to make automated decisions about business credit. Now, there are two things to remember from this presentation today. Number one, over 95% or nearly 6 million small businesses have little or no data available today at the credit bureaus. And number two, lenders can make automated decisions about those small business borrowers using SimplyVerity's system. So, let's begin. For a big company, information is relatively easy to come by about credit. A large publicly traded company has a wealth of data available online. In this case, we would simply point you to what the major ratings agencies already deliver. That is a solved problem. If instead we look at the mid-market of private companies, the picture changes somewhat. Let's search for, say, Midwest Plywood. In this case, the availability of credit data is not nearly so easy, transparent, or efficient, but a few major bureaus do offer reasonably good coverage, and a lender or creditor can buy the needed data. But the large and middle market make up less than 5% of the businesses in the United States. The vast majority are small businesses, anybody with under, say, 10 million in revenue. That's like my friend, David. David runs David's Distilling, a 2-year-old craft distillery based in Seattle. Now, we've already seen what the traditional sources have available for David. There's nothing to go on. That's a big problem if David needs to lease a steel tank, buy more empty bottles on credit, or if he needs a short-term loan to tide over his business while that whiskey matures in an oak barrel. Now look, all of those are small dollar credits. They don't justify a lot of underwriting time and expense. But the sheer number of Davids out there means that there's nearly $2 trillion in lending potential that's ill-served today. So let's take a look at how SimplyVerity would work with the lender and collaboratively with the borrower, David, to help create a new credit report where none exists. Here, we're looking at the interface a creditor would use to request a new credit report. We've already got the company's name. We'll enter in David's email address, and since we know the name of the owner, we'll enter that too. That's all we need to get started. At this point, SimplyVerity reaches out and contacts David, walking him through our collaborative credit report building process. At the same time, our distributed workforce and APIs are collecting information in the background to assemble a report, which typically is completed within about 48 hours. But let's take a look at some of the other borrowers in our lender's pipeline, shall we? Here, we can see a pipeline report. David the distiller is just getting underway. But let's look at Semi Solutions, which makes parts for long-haul trucks. Here, we can see that the controller at Semi Solutions has responded, has provided credit references, and one of those references has responded in turn. But that reference isn't just clicking like or accepting a friend request. He or she is providing factual, quantitative data about an actual repayment experience with that borrower. Let's go back and take a look, though, at what a completed report looks like. Here we have Complete Construction Company. Now, starting with nothing more than self-provided contact information from the borrower, SimplyVerity has now assembled a complete report. We've gotten 3 credit references to answer and provide that factual, quantitative data about a real repayment history, including, in some cases, derogatory information, because yes, even self-provided references do sometimes tell us when a borrower is less than perfect. In addition, our team and algorithms conduct over 30 individual verifications about different data points around the borrower and his references so that we can prevent fraud or collusion. Now, a lender or other creditor can use this report as is, reading it and applying human judgment, or we can take this quantitative data and import it into a spreadsheet, scorecard, or algorithm to help drive automated decisions. Again, all of this automatically and reliably, typically within about 48 hours and for less than the price of a traditional credit report. So, we've seen here today the gap between large and middle market companies on one hand and the small businesses on the other hand that don't have credit data available today. And we've seen how SimplyVerity can help bridge that gap collaboratively with the borrower, which is a welcome difference from the opaque and adversarial perception they have of credit bureaus today. So again, those two takeaways. Number one, this problem is vast. Nearly 6 million businesses with no credit scores, little or no data available today. And number two, using SimplyVerity, lenders can make automated decisions about those same small businesses economically and efficiently. So, if you share our mission of using technology to help expand access to capital, or if you just want to know more about the real-life David the Distiller and his products, please come see us at the SimplyVerity booth. Thank you.